So we'll now understand what is a cloud computing. Okay. So as we've knew that what is a traditional implementation or a traditional use of an application and how we've been using. But what is that the difference? So of late we've been hearing a lot about cloud applications and cloud computing. So what is that we are going to have compared to our regular traditional ERP system? Okay, so cloud is a remotely hosted web server that can be accessed from anywhere. Okay, so where the data center means whatever is that setup that we used to set up and own in our traditional ERP system, so that we are no more is going to hold it and responsible for. Okay, so we will choose the cloud service provider and from which we will take whatever is that applications that we are going to use and get them installed and start using. That is what is your cloud system. Okay, so you can find this in the future slides or coming slides. So here we will use the nets network servers which are remotely hosted. Okay, so rather than the traditional hosting of the server in our in premises, okay, where we will not hold anything similar to what we've been doing. So this is all a new practice. So kind of a revolution in technology and also the way of using these particular applications. Okay, so we will understand more in the future slides. So what are the differences and how we have cloud being competing in the world in the market with the on-premise traditional system. Okay. So here we have the delivery models of Fusion applications, Fusion cloud applications. Yeah. Any questions?
Yeah, hi Raj.
Yeah.
Sorry to disturb you.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, is this being recorded?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, okay. Thank you.
Okay. So here, how can you have the Fusion applications being used? Okay. First, in order to use them, you need to have something called a license being bought or installed or maintained. Okay, and an access is given, right? So as per our understanding, when you take it as a or traditional ERP system, but cloud has a different place. Okay, how can you use it? Okay, avoiding all these things that we've been doing. So now we will understand the ways of having the cloud application being used as an enterprise. So we will have these are the delivery models available in Fusion cloud applications. Okay, so these are the mostly used. So we will understand each one of them, and try to distinguish with our traditional ERP system. So I'll call out the SaaS is the one of the or the first method of Fusion applications being deployed or Fusion applications is being used for your enterprise. Okay, when I say it as SaaS, it is only a software as a service. I will use or a client will use the Fusion cloud application as a service and he will only subscribe to the plain application. Okay, and he would not be allowed to do any customizations. He would have to use the SaaS as this. Okay, so it is a plain application on which we will have or modules or whatever is that you get subscribed to would be used, and you will only pay as you grow. Okay, so you can opt for whatever users that you have got in your enterprise, and for only then you can be able to use this particular SaaS. So it's kind of a standard subscription. Okay. So you will not be given with any extended features which are or which might be required for your business. Okay, maybe in the going forward future. Okay, so that is what the SaaS model is. But when it comes to PaaS, okay, you are allowed to work with the platform. Okay, the platform cloud where you are allowed to use the application and to build the new application and also to customize the existing application. Okay, so platform as a service is a kind of a developer ball game where you can be able to customize the application in whichever you want, because we might have seen that the standard functionality whatever comes, okay, part of our EBS is most rarely used, because most of the times, let it be for any reason, can be a small or a big reason, okay, we will customize the application, right? So we've been doing that, so that way if you need to customize the application, okay, you will have to go for a pass. Okay, so here you are allowed to work with integrations and Java Cloud Services, where you can use any programming languages to build the new applications and also work in sync with your Fusion Cloud applications. So that is what your PaaS is all about. Okay, and the other one is infrastructure as service. So what is this infrastructure as your service? We've seen SaaS, PaaS. Okay. So in PaaS also the server is maintained by your cloud service provider. Okay, whoever is your cloud service provider. Okay, the same will be maintained by the cloud service provider. When it comes to IaaS, infrastructure as service, so you are allowed to extend your capabilities of the application. Okay, so you might know that, okay, in a peak time of an year, your business may receive some heavy workload, okay, which you will have to extend your capabilities like your storage or like your space of RAM. So whatever is that you are using, okay, which needs to be extended. But why do you need to pay for that? Okay, why do you need to make arrangements for that? Okay, very priorly before it comes, and even then you are not sure of what's going to happen exactly. So in that cases, okay, you can pick up for your IaaS license, where based on your peak workload, you can have a extended capabilities of your application being performed to meet your requirements. Okay, so here you are allowed to extend or elast your capabilities. Okay, so that is what your infrastructure as service is all about.
Raj,
Yeah,
Tushar here. Raj.
yeah.
Yeah, but actually two to three things I just
Mhm.
want to hear from you. It means, is there means suppose a business is started using SaaS and it wants to, because it finds now earlier it took a decision to went for SaaS and now it is not able, the SaaS is not able to meet the requirement, business requirement. So in that case, can they means shift, means how the shifting it happens means uh, from SaaS to PaaS, is that how it is work,
Yeah.
how it works?
So you can pick up any model license at any time. Okay. So it is all the access that you acquire to work with the platform or work with the infrastructure. Okay. Wherever it is needed. Okay. Whether you're using SaaS, PaaS, or IaaS, only the difference is you will acquire the latest capabilities. That's all. Okay. So you can
So
switch anytime.
the compatibility. the compatibility to be there with means if you are using SaaS, then suddenly you change to PaaS, then you can customize everything.
Yes, yes.
Uh, so
So
okay,
that's
and
what.
in case of IaaS, who maintains this infrastructure and this one your server database, and
So it is
it is the
also,
cloud provider.
yeah, it is the cloud
Yeah.
server only being maintained. It only maintains your entire data center and your database. Okay, the only thing that is the difference is, okay, you will get access or you will get authorized to the new capabilities and also the new potential. Okay, so everything in this particular cloud platform is being maintained by the cloud service provider only. But whether if it is SaaS, you will only use the application. If it is PaaS, you can use the application with syncing whatever is the new applications that you develop on your, okay, application layer. And if it is infrastructure as service, you can do SaaS activities, PaaS activities, and also the IaaS activities as well, where you can elastic capacity of the application. That's it.
No, no. So in case of PaaS, means we can customize the Oracle application or something only our third-party system, and to that we can just have a synchronization
You can application your
in case of.
Oracle and also the integrated application, whichever is integrated with the Fusion applications, even that as well.
So in SaaS we cannot integrate.
No, SaaS we will not have the integration capabilities.
So it means that only a business can use only Oracle application. None other than that, no other application can be used in SaaS.
Right, the Fusion applications or Oracle applications, whatever is there, that can be used.
And then in that case, means how a business will run. In that case, the most of the business, you mean to say only whichever doesn't use any third-party system earlier, a fresh business who wants to, or entire 100%. I don't think it can be any means business requirement can be fulfilled with a cloud providers. This one, and then how to that. You mean to say it is all business need. If somebody feels that at the requirement stage, yes, everything can be achieved, then only it will go for SaaS, else it will go for PaaS.
See, most of the clients which we've seen, okay, so has been opted for. Sorry, there's some background noise.
It's like
Yeah.
Gmail, using Gmail. SaaS is using like a Gmail, right? Can you extend Gmail? Similar example, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that. Please be on mute, whoever is not speaking. I'm actually hearing my voice, okay, my voice. So whoever is the clients, okay, so from the inception and also now of late what's happening, so based on their usage, okay, so they'll opt for PaaS. So PaaS where you will have the application access and as well as the integration capabilities. Okay, if you use SaaS, you will only have to use the plain application with whatever is that the accesses that is being given. But if you use PaaS, you will be able to customize and as well as you will be able to integrate and you will be also able to develop your own applications and make them integrated with the Fusion Cloud. Okay, as simple as that.
Yeah,
And
Raj.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah. PaaS and IaaS. What is the quick difference? PaaS and IaaS.
So
What is the difference?
in the past, you cannot extend the application capabilities like your storage and your server space and all that. But in infrastructure as service, based on the customer workload, you can also extend that. So that is what here, what we are doing is cost optimization is the only key agenda and profit maximization is the agenda part of the cloud, right? So you may not be investing, okay, your money or a capital expenditure at once when you are setting up the server. So you will only pay when you use that particular space. So that is what. So based on kind of a workload that you're going to have in some time of a year or based on your requirement, you will only pay for it. That is how you can be able to expand your storage or any other capabilities of your application set of infrastructure.
So storage and servers, like
Mm-hmm.
as on today,
Mm-hmm.
uh, we have it in our own premises.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
that is a scenario of PaaS or IaaS.
So that is a regular on-premise implementation. So it is nothing to do with the cloud.
On-premise doesn't come in cloud.
No, 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 no. It is a regular implementation of the application. But nowadays, even you can implement an on-premise application is also in cloud and maintained. But previous to cloud being into the place, we have only done a traditional on-premise implementation.
When when you say extended capability of storage, just can you give a real-time example in what case
Okay.
Yeah,
people yep,
Mhm. Then we have many examples.
what is that extended capabilities?
One of the example is, let's say you have a Thanksgiving Day coming in the November, right? What the players, market players in US need to have. For an example, they'll have to get maximum
you have a
discounts.
note.
Hmm?
If you have a notepad, possibly if you can explain, that would be a little still confusing. SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS, we are confused. You can just take one good example so that everybody knows what is IaaS and PaaS.
Actually, we have a slide coming in the further slides. You also have examples for it. So, but let me explain for IaaS as you are. Okay, SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. Let's take these three. So SaaS, you will only get access to software where you will have to only use the software, no customizations, no integrations. Okay,
And
you
one
don't.
question was SaaS.
Mhm. Go ahead.
The in is it like SaaS is going to be like multi-tenant or single tenant?
So multi-tenant is, I think it is possible in PaaS. So in the SaaS, it is only a single tenant.
Multi-talent, I didn't get. Can
So
you
it's
please
it's
elaborate?
it's it's kind of a, you can have multiple applications, okay, your own multiple applications being hosted on the cloud. Okay, for an example, let's say on the cloud marketplace with along with you being one of the user, you can also have multiple people. Okay, so that is kind of a multi-tenant or a single tenant kind of a technology that mostly comes in cloud usage. Okay, so when you set up your own data center, so whether if you are allowing the other applications to be on your data center, or if it is the cloud, the public or private cloud, if it is he allowing the other persons to deploy his own applications other than Fusion Cloud. So that is what the concept of multi-tenant or a single tenant.
Hello, Raj.
Yeah,
Regarding the SaaS, only predefined functions you can able to use it.
that is what
No other
you can.
like can be
So in SaaS, you
even
cannot. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. If PaaS also, we cannot able to customize any from legacy systems to here. That means we cannot able to hard code or else anything from legacy systems to here.
No, you cannot do that. In SaaS, you cannot do
Yeah.
that.
So since it is only for extension of the application for any capabilities required in that time.
Right.
Any enhancements is required in that time, we can able to business expands.
Mhm. In
Then
that case,
there is no cost like from legacy systems to Oracle to connectivity here. That's right.
no, no,
What you're saying.
we will not have.
Okay. Okay. If the customer is having legacy systems somewhere, for example, HNI, some other Ramco systems,
Mhm.
if they want to integrate from those invoices or those transactions to for 31st of March to here in the Fusion application, there is no possibility.
No. So keeping all these things in the mind when even they are planning, so they will opt for SaaS and PaaS license. So that's how it is actually.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's go to the pass
Yeah.
access to the platform. It's a cloud platform. Okay, so you can customize the applications and also you can integrate the applications and you can develop and deploy the new applications.
So in this case, Raj, means from a technical standpoint, the technical will be having all the access to the database. Means can he, like in on-premises now in our tool, technical have the access with itself. Okay, to build something or to this one. So can it do, or how the from the technical standpoint how it works in
So
PaaS?
So in PaaS, the developers has access to the database, okay, the database server. So they can be able to do the same activities that what they could do in our EBS case. So they will have the access to the application layer and database layer. That's how even they can customize or do some personalization and tweaking here and there with the applications. Okay.
So the backend is again SQL and PL SQL forms and reports. Oh no, of course, forms and reports may not be there.
Yeah, it is. It is. Multiple. Databases also available. So you have SQL and PLSQL is also part of it. Java ADF, okay, is also available. So that is again depends.
So in case of SaaS, the servers are somewhere with Oracle, right? We don't have any servers at our place. Am I right, Raj?
Right, absolutely right.
And in case of PaaS also, the servers are not with us.
Absolutely. So in all these three, you will not hold any server with you. It is all on cloud. You will get access. Okay, you will get access, and you will use it. Okay, you will not do any capex. That means capital expenditure investment to set up the machines at your place. That is what the
So
cloud
you
is.
mean to say, no DBA related activities will take place every time you need to reach to Oracle for any DBA related activities, whatever you face any issue. In that case, on premises, like at this moment, several DBA person will be sitting.
Mm.
But in these cases, in SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS, you have to reach to the Oracle only every time.
Right. Absolutely right. So we have that coming in the further slides. We will go to that. So once I'm done with this particular explanation. Here we have capability to extend the application based on the coming business loads or workloads. So one of the example for it is you have Thanksgiving Day coming in or a New Year coming in, Christmas coming in, on which you may have to give some large discounts the way Amazon or Flipkart has given in the days of Big Billion. So where there is a peak workloads are expected or customer coming onto the site and visiting each of the products and checking out for lot of other stuff comparing between the products, so all that where your server has to bear with the workload what you're getting, right? So in this particular case, whenever you expect, you can extend your application capabilities. Okay, so for which you will not to do or you are not required to do any. Yeah.
I have a question. In case, let's say, in case of PaaS,
Hmm.
uh, if we have done some customizations
Hmm.
and because you said the server, the cloud server is controlled by Oracle, and also all the customization that you do indirectly, they are on the cloud. So when you when some patching takes place, the patching happens across, right? In general, when we do it in R12,
Right.
if we have to maintain the customization which is affected by the patching, we have the control. But
Right.
in this case, how does it be taken care?
So that is what the Oracle team itself, takes care of that patching and also the effective, whatever is the modules that are getting affected, what are the bugs
How
that are
does
getting
how do we
resolved.
have the control over different because I am being one business and there is another company that has its own Oracle application. I mean, it has its own project. I have another project, and third person has another, third business has another project. So
Right.
how, I mean, I'm just wondered if there
Hmm.
is a customization,
Hmm.
how Oracle controls the customization across all different companies where cloud is implemented.
So for you, it is the only business, or you are one of the enterprise who are holding your complete data on the cloud. But Oracle
Mhm.
having multiple enterprises holding their operations on the cloud, right? So if you do some customizations and if you apply some patches, whatever is your applications which are applicable with that particular customizations or patches, so it is only up to
Mhm.
that. Okay, so you are only one enterprise, okay, for which it should only get reflected or get affected with the patching and all that. But there are some common releases wise upgrades, or the latest new features which gets
Yeah, they are
inherited based
common.
on the releases. They are common. Okay, so those
Yeah.
gets applicable based on the release and the schedule maintenance. But the patching activities also, if you have any issues based on the customizations that you have, any data fixes is needed, that is only one enterprise, whichever is getting the that particular issue, or
Yeah.
which has to work with that particular
Based on that,
customization
I
related.
mean,
So
the
that is
person.
again completely their own responsibility.
Okay,
Okay, so
got you.
it's nothing that you will have to worry upon. So that is where where we are
Got
now relying on the cloud by skipping or avoiding all those or eliminating all those things from our mind. It is only the complete business that we will have to take care, not anything from this application or a database or security standpoint, right?
you. Okay.
What is cloud platform? Access to cloud platform,
Yeah.
Raj?
Yeah. So platform is, if it is Java a platform, or if it is anything other platform, you will have the complete access to that for doing any customizations and also deploying your own applications. Okay, whatever is that application layer, you will have access to it.
Why is it called as platform like SaaS? Access to software is the first one.
Right.
Access to cloud platform. So now, what is the difference between
Okay.
software and platform?
Right. So let me explain you. So when it is SaaS, okay, there are a lot of applications. Let's take an example of your Google Play Store. Okay. So here you have some thousands and lakhs of applications available. Okay, you will only get an access to one of the application, but when it is SaaS, okay, you will get access to the complete Play Store, where you can be able to seamlessly integrate with multiple applications, and you can create your own applications, you can deploy it, okay, you can do any customizations whenever you want. So you are given an access to the entire platform, okay, not to a single software. That is what here the platform as service. Is it clear?
End of the day, we need Oracle access. So either way, we are getting Oracle access in SaaS and PaaS.
Right, right.
So
Is it, if it
what
is
else?
Oracle or if it is any other third party cloud person, you need access from them.
So it's third party and Oracle, we are calling it as platform.
No, 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 no. See, cloud service provider. Let's take it as cloud service provider. Whoever is that provider. So let's say we do not have only Oracle as being the cloud service provider. We also have other cloud providers also in the market, right? Okay, so that's how. Okay, so you can also have a facility to use your Fusion applications on the other than Oracle clouds as well. Okay, you also have that capability. So in that case, whoever is that cloud provider on which you have been operating your applications, okay, so you need access from them. That is what the cloud service provider duty, to give you the access based on the amount that you pay or based on the subscription that you take, right? That is it. So we'll go through the next slides, okay, by which you will understand, some of your questions, whatever you might have, by itself they gets eliminated. You will get answers to them. And then if you have any further questions, we will discuss in the next part of the session, okay, or end of the session, so that you will be able to have a consolidated view of what goes on here, right? Shall I go forward?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I'll move on. So here, one of the examples for you to just look at in case of SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS, what happens here. Okay, so you can look at the first box, okay, which explains you about a software as service. So you can take the examples for it. Okay, a Salesforce CRM, a Lotus Live is some of them, which gives only a software as service. Okay, so where you can be able to get access to your software. So whereas when it is PaaS, you'll have Google app, and Windows Azure is one of the platform providers who will give access to the applications and as well as to the platform, so that you can deploy your own created applications or use seamlessly whatever is the applications available on the platform by integrating it. And the third one is infrastructure as service. So where you have Amazon Web Service is one of it, and you have even Oracle Cloud also available, which helps you to, okay, use the infrastructure and rent whatever is the storage and capacities and computer services available, and make use of the peak workloads whatever you get. Okay, so this is how these are all the examples of your SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS models. So any questions here?
Yeah. So it means that in that case, see, if suppose a business, you said in case of a peak hour,
Mhm.
definitely we know every business in a peak hour, the data load, it exceeds a lot. So
Mhm.
in that case, in case of SaaS and PaaS, in this kind of situation, a business cannot meet. So obviously, then how to deal with those kind of situation, because we will be not having access to IaaS.
Mhm.
So how the business will deal in that case, in case of
So
SaaS, because from a business perspective, always we cannot avoid this peak period.
right.
So how to handle that in that case? So one should every time they have to go to IaaS only.
So it is not like that. It is depending upon the enterprise and their business. Okay, whatever the subscription if you take. Okay, so they will have what is that the best compatible infrastructure that can be provided. Okay, to the enterprise. But there are even more some exceptional cases where they need the elastic infrastructure. That means which can be expanded whenever it is required. Not all the businesses need it. Okay, so we have lot of even small players in this market who does not need to expand. Okay, based on whatever is the business that they are doing. But as you pay, it is completely a pay as you grow model. Okay, you can switch to anything at any point of time. Okay, so if you are
Okay.
growing, that means your enterprise is growing. So well, you can opt for it. If you don't want to opt for it, don't pay it at all. Okay, so we are not doing any investment upfront. It is only paying as you need it. That flexibility is what available in cloud, which were missing in our EBS on-premise case.
So suppose the data load, it suddenly it increases in a certain period. So that time, we will be getting enough from a database perspective. We will be getting a business will be getting by paying. It can get more this one space.
Right,
You mean to say?
right, right, right. Okay, you can opt for any type of model at any point in time. Okay, so you will have some variance based on the price structure, but it is completely simplified. Okay, so I've seen many of the clients even opting for three of the licenses initially when they are starting out, because when it is compared with the EBS type of on-premise implementation, okay, so the cost when you compare it with it is much lesser than the on-premise traditional implementation. That's how even cloud clients are taking off with all these licenses, and they're using it whenever it is required. But you still have an option with it if you would like to take it now, or if you would like to take it whenever it is only required. Okay, that's
So,
simple.
Raj, do you think SaaS is a practical thing in case of having Oracle application, because Oracle being so complex and so diverse and so much customization,
Hmm.
now we cannot think any client being a vanilla implementation. I have not seen any client having a standard vanilla, 100% vanilla.
Mm.
In that scenario, how is SaaS going to really kick off or help where no customization and nothing is allowed? So is it something practical, you think?
Absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So that is how even pass is suggested, because we've seen no customer has gone, but even we have very less clients, okay, across the globe or in some corners of the globe using the standard application, because that is enough for them. Let's take an example. For an example, see, a small shop, okay, let's take a flower shop or whatever, for whom the business is not so much, and for them it is not integrations or any customizations is not required. You can simply suggest it's kind of a simple tool, okay, for them to use and do the reconciliation at the end of their business. It is quite simple for them, and for them it is the SaaS is much okay enough when I say. But for a growing businesses, it is always the passes suggested, because whatever now currently they are doing is not the whole idea behind implementing an ERP, right? So pass is always a reasonable case, okay, for you to suggest, and having the customer being developing, and also having the revenue and the user access being increasing.
So
Okay.
what are the three clients on SaaS? Do we have any three clients in US on SaaS or
Mm,
PaaS?
very less. So till now, I have actually not seen a customer who is taking only a SaaS license.
How about PaaS?
PaaS we have many. So 90% of the cases PaaS is taking.
What are the three top clients in US, Raj?
No, that we cannot do disclose, right? We have a lot of client base in Oracle site itself that you can go and just check. So they have clearly mentioned, as the application or the cloud is rising, so it is required for even any person to give that testimonials, right? So we have a lot of client base available in the Oracle site. You can just browse through it, so you will get the information of the clients, okay, that have acquired for kind of licenses of each one of these. Okay.
So last question: who would go for PaaS and who would go for EBS? So both are having customizations.
Mhm.
So ideally, who would go for a PaaS with customization or EBS released well? Conventional.
So that is kind of a hybrid. Now you need to have, or you want to have, both your on-premise and cloud in sync. Let's say you are using some of the applications called, let's say, financials you're using on your EBS on-premise, and you have the new capabilities that you have acquired for some of the modules on the cloud. So you want to have a sync. So is that what you're trying to ask?
No. There is a client, say, let us assume Motorola. Should it go with EBS R12 because they have a lot of customizations and a lot of a third-party integration, or they should go with PAS with PAS or IaaS? What is your suggestion if such
I would
clients ask us?
I would ask them to take for PAS and IaaS license, because whatever customizations that they have done, okay, moving those customizations to the cloud and moving their data to the cloud is quite easy. It's not a big deal. Okay, so now there's no need, okay, for them to
Raj, one
suggest.
question. One question. When you said moving those customizations to cloud is not that difficult, so what is the process? Is there any process on that? If, say, for example, let's say the same customer Motorola who is heavily customized on R12 and they want to go to cloud. So can they? I mean, is it a lift and shift process, or I mean, how is that? I mean, or is it going to be a fresh implementation?
No, it is not at all a fresh implementation. So it is a lift and shift process only. Okay, so we have the data moving from your ERP system, whatever is your ERP system, let it be an EBS or any other thing, to Cloud Fusion applications, because Oracle has already made a path of it, okay, where you can extract all the data, okay, whatever you have, and also whatever is that customizations, okay, based on the some of the boot camps that are being conducted with all that customizations and data, you can simply move it to the cloud. So that is possible. It is not required to implement all that again, part of the Cloud Fusion applications.
So who is going to take care of that? It will be the Oracle, or the business will, or business technical person will do that, or the Oracle is going to do that?
So that has to be done from two ways. It is with the cloud provider and also the enterprise. That means it is we and also the Oracle.
No, Oracle and cloud provider. Yeah,
No,
cloud
no, no.
provider
I'm
will be
saying
Oracle.
it is Oracle as a cloud provider, and we as a team works with the enterprise, okay, or with the
Yeah,
cloud,
yeah, yeah.
because the procedure or the whatever is that need to be done, it has to be suggested by them only, right? So we've got a lot of the client base now being available on EBS. If they would like to switch, okay, to the cloud, okay, so that is how they might have got already a way of moving all these from EBS to the cloud, right? So it is Oracle, okay, that would suggest how do you move and how do you invoke some of the web services to pull out the data from your EBS application, and then, okay, moving it to
So
the interface.
what are the tools and technology it is getting used for this data conversion and integration for things? Because in all these cases, this integration it requires, if you want to continue with EBS and cloud, or if you want to expire the entire EBS and you suddenly want to move to cloud, then in that case you need the data conversion. So what is the technology for that? How it works? What is the mechanism behind that?
So there is, as long as I hear, there is some web services that we will need to invoke. Okay, first you will have to take that data being extracted to a CSV file, because the cloud application, Fusion applications will read the application language in CSV file, whatever is the data which is extracted into CSV, so that can be very well uploaded and can be taken into the Fusion Cloud, right? And we also have got the FBDIs in place, which can load the data. But here is a case of EBS being moving complete data to the Fusion applications, right? So it is some of the web services that needs to be invoked. So first you need to extract all that data into one of the CSV, and then you will have to ensure that the CSV file moves that data to the Fusion
No,
application.
is it same as the what happens in the EBS world, or it is something different,
No,
or
it is.
different technology it is there? because in Oracle side, when you do, now we have different middlewares. It comes into picture.
Right.
Okay, like your IFW, it is there. You can do it through EDI also. Various mechanism it is there.
Right.
So what else? In case of cloud, how what are the mechanism and technology it will be used in that case?
So that is what
And the middleware.
Yeah. The middleware architecture for which you have web services, SOA and web services, which will invoke for you to migrate the data from one system to another. So you will have to read through, okay, what is that the data that you have and how can you move it. So you can be able to do it.
It is the same process, because what I heard, there are certain technology which is there, means and it is like it means there is not that much technical work it is needed. Even if a person, a functional person also can do those kind of work, because the technology, it is very much user friendly. Okay, it's like drag and drop feature. Okay, so anything, can you just
See, there,
give an
there are two
idea on
things.
that?
There are two things.
Yeah.
Whether you are completely moving a ERP data which you are currently using in one of the application to cloud, or you are just inserting some of the data into application, or which may be dynamically. Let's say, for an example, you would like to enter some 20 or 30 or 100 purchase orders. Okay, where you can use FBDIs. Okay, by entering that particular data into the Excel file, and you can be able to upload into the system. So that is how you will have all that purchase orders or payable invoices gets uploaded to the system. And the other thing, or the complex thing which we are talking about, is moving the complete data from an ERP system to the cloud, right? Okay, so for which you need some of the web services to be invoked, being middleware as a application tier here. Okay, so coming to the complexity, as you rightly said, it is that not that technical. We can be able to read through that and understand. We can help to move the data from ourselves. But wherever there is some kind of a coding, Java coding is required. Okay, so that needs complete technical person, but being a functional person, we can understand most of the things and also do that particular activity from our own. Okay.
No, just want to know, means is these things are going to be part of this course curriculum? Something will be getting to know about integration and how, because see, means what is the module and what is the features, that is means what I feel, it is not a bigger challenge. Okay, we can get it, we will get to know from the cloud library and all those things, but the main thing is what I feel, how the integration process, how the conversion process, and all these things happens, how the customization things happens in particular this cloud application, that I feel. So it can it be the part of this course curriculum, or just I want to know, it is my curiosity, you can say, at this moment, to know that. So later on we can discuss also. I don't want to create more trouble for others also. Just yes, but at the end, this is my agenda to know. Yes, can this thing be part of this course curriculum or not?
Right.
Because just to simply know the things, what are the options, what are the features, it is available. So that those things anyway will get to know. But the main thing, wherever I found these things, it generally misses in the agenda of the course curriculum.
Okay, so let me explain you here once for all. Okay, maybe this will clear all the other people's doubts also. So similar doubts may have in other people's minds. So here integration. Okay, we will not talk about integration and how do you integrate with the other applications, because we will only work on SaaS model, where we will use the software and try to adapt whatever is that new in the software. And when it is come to conversion, the second question of yours is conversion or data migration, right? Okay, so we will discuss how do you do the data migration. So that is part of our functional activity. So how we are eliminating the stuff which is done by a technical consultant, we will definitely discuss that, and we will move the data Okay, we'll move the data to our Fusion Cloud by doing FBDI process, how we were doing it in EBS and how it is changed in Fusion applications, that we will definitely use it. And customizations, if you talk about it, we are not allowed to do again any customizations, sir. So
Yeah, because
that's also
it is clear now because I want to discuss on SaaS model in that case.
right. Right. That's
Mhm.
right. Okay. So let us move forward. Some of the service types here. So what you will have part of IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. So you can look at this particular slide. Okay. So when it is SaaS, it is completely a business user model. Okay. So we will not be having kind of mostly the business user is driving this particular applications, and you will have the speed is one of the key factor which is driving the SaaS cloud. But when it is PaaS, it is the development or a customizations on the applications which focuses, which makes the game as completely a developer ball game. And when it is IaaS as cloud, you will have your SaaS, PaaS, and infrastructure is also coming into the picture, where you will work with the applications platform and even customizing the applications as well. So that is how
So
we'll have.
is it all web-based form? Is it all web-based form?
Yeah, it is. It
Everything
is ADF.
completely?
ADF. Yeah, it is ADF. Completely a web-based forms. So you do not have any, the same Oracle forms available here. We will discuss those changes in the coming slides. I'll move. Okay, there are few differences that we have from on-premise to cloud. We will discuss that quickly. So when it is on-premise, you will have to expand. Sorry, you will have to invest a lot of capital. Okay, for the application and for the the data center and database and all that server, that you will do it upfront. Okay, knowing or unknowing your future or predicting it, so you will do it. And customer owned upgrades and patching. So in case of the on-premise application, you as a customer who is using the application have to own the upgrades and patching. Okay, so Oracle or the other service providers would not be involved in that. Okay, and the data center and hardware costs, including the disaster recovery, you will only have to own it. That means whoever is installing the application will use it. So costly customizations and maintain. Okay, whatever the customizations that you need, that you're doing, need a skilled person. Okay, like technical team who will be working on that, and if at all any issues related to that, supporting is all that is again costly affair, not as simple as it is. And annual supporting costs that the person whoever is getting implemented the enterprise has to bear it. A retention of IT and subcontracting staff is required. So that means you need to have a dedicated IT team working with the applications to give the updates and to ensure that the application is working is required, and managing own securities and access. So here, when it is cloud, the security and all that access is taken over by the service provider, where security is the only main motto, because we are not holding any servers here, data center here, so it is all in the cloud. We will have, or how the stringent is the security guidelines, we will see and understand. But here in the on-premise case, we only have to own the enterprise, whoever is getting implemented have to own the security related stuff, and outdated software resulting in some missed business benefit. If you are not updating the software or taking the new best breed of practices based on the latest functionalities, you will miss out on some of the issues, okay, as it is not updated. So this is all what we've seen till now in on-premise case. But when it is cloud, okay, what we have it, okay, we will compare an app, we'll do an apple to apple comparison to understand how it is better than the on-premise. So we can rent a flexible service and you can pay as you grow. So as you growing, you can extend your features or functionalities, whatever you're using, and you will pay accordingly. Okay, and then you will standard security access from anywhere whenever it is needed. Okay, you will be given an access from wherever you want. So it is completely the service provider maintains the security, and it's his responsibility to give the access from whenever it is needed. And you need to, it is completely a business user model rather than IT support. The users, whoever are there in your enterprise, they will take care of this particular application and its functioning. There is no IT support is needed. Okay, so they are the persons who would do the regular transactions on their daily, a daily part of business goals. So they will only take care of this particular business user. So whenever they need some support, they'll opt for the help of the service provider, and then embedded with the modern best practices. So you have the best of the practices being already acquired from the market, okay, considering the various different applications and also taking into the best of the customer experience into consideration. We have built this cloud applications. So that is how you have all that whatever is needed for you to flexibly do on the cloud. And the next and last point is no upgrades, but the latest functionalities via regular releases. Okay, based on the scheduled maintenance. Okay, Oracle owns the releases. You need not to worry on anything. So you will get a notification of whatever is the functionalities that you have and which are going to get upgraded with the new features and all that. You will easily understand and you get notified of it. So that happens automatically. Okay, being given on a notification. So you will have that application being acquiring the latest capabilities. Okay. So any questions here? Okay, I'll move on to the next slide. So this is some of the testimonials of the cloud. So from its inception, so we have an availability of 99.99%. That means whenever it is needed. So 24/7 active monitoring and support is there. Okay, without you being owning all these things as an enterprise, it is the Oracle or the service provider who will take care of these things. And highly efficient dedicated operations team, so where they will support on whatever issues or any patching or upgrades or anything related to the cloud. So they will give you the support. And rigorous operational practices, which is 100% of activities by Oracle employees in each geography. That means whoever is the cloud service provider, so they will be very much available to give you that support in terms of this cloud operations. And government security clearance. So whatever is that security norms according to that particular region and localization, it is completely abided by them, so that to have you anything which is strict a part of security and not to have any or not to miss out any of the other things related to the security. That is how we have got, these are the
Yeah,
testimonials.
one thing, one thing here.
Yeah.
See, means what happens if your cloud supplier suddenly decide to stop supporting a product or system for which you depend on the supplier? What happens in that case? Suppose Oracle will decide to give support for a particular product or system. Okay. In that
So
case,
according to our understanding, generally they don't do like that. Even if you take an example, okay, when did they have stopped giving um, services or support for 11i? Okay, even when we have release 12, 12.13, even 12.2 is also being used by the customers. But even for some of the clients, they are still giving support for 11i as well. Okay, so that is again.
no, but it is it was worldwide decided, means globally it was decided by Oracle that they are going to, for at least for 11i, after some years they are going to stop the this one. So likewise, if you are on cloud and suddenly for certain in certain part of the cloud application or system, if as a service provider it takes a decision that it is going to stop the this one support. So how we are going to handle that? Because if it is on premises, yes, even if a few client, if Oracle it is not going to provide in 11i or R12, they have their own IT team and they will work on that. Okay, but if it is not on premises,
So that's it. Okay, you will be given with the prior information as you already know about it.
I
So it
don't
is
think
not all of
so.
it.
Oracle will doing such kind of things because they are going to lose a lot on their business side as well as their goodwill, right? Because there will be anyways roadmap for doing all these kinds of stuff. Even for R12 also there is a roadmap till I think 2035. They have released a roadmap recently. Suddenly
yeah.
and abruptly they won't do this kind of stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm coming to
Because
that.
there are a lot of
Yeah, you will be
they do these
notified
kind
of
of things.
whatever.
Oracle.
Yeah, you will be notified of whatever is their plan is about. All of a sudden, they generally don't do it. Okay, we've seen even 11i is also being supported even after the years of Oracle has announced that they are going to stop the support of 11i, right? So that is they would not do it.
So this is totally dependent on the internet connection. So if some failure in that case, how means, is there any backup and so that again we can get the data back, and how it works?
Yeah, the backup and disaster recovery is completely owned by Oracle, so need not to worry upon any of the data losses. So internet is I don't think internet is something that is going to stop. Okay, so internet is
No,
completely
no.
needed.
No, talking in case of any disasters, anything, because we don't know. Okay, as a business. Okay, see this question I am not asking as a user or as a consultant. Okay, I'm just
Right,
from a business perspective I'm asking. Okay,
right,
what we can face as a consultant, what we can face in future also
right,
from the business.
right.
So how this can be handled?
So absolutely. So it has its own complete backup. Okay, whoever is the service provider of the cloud, so whether it is Oracle Cloud or Amazon Cloud, so that is one of the basic facility that they need to provide, right? Okay, if it is the internet is or if it is something related to the security issues, taking all that into consideration only, the cloud is built. Okay, so I don't think you will have such kind of an issues, or we've seen such kind of issues of data loss, or even the operations whatever is using being interrupted all of a sudden. It's not going to do that. It is completely the cloud service provider responsibility. Whoever takes care of
Mm-hmm.
your cloud. Okay. So shall we move forward?
Yes, you.
So here in this particular slide, we will see how many are the devices and what is that the data storage. Okay, that is which is being used currently. So this is not a latest or an update slide. So this is being updated few days later. So currently we've got 19 data centers part of the Oracle Cloud Service. So and we have 28 million plus active users a day and entering 23 billion transactions a day. So this is how the cloud has a vast, operations in the market and getting expanded very fastly, taking the best functionalities into consideration and also being the cost and the profit maximization is being the key motor. So now we will discuss about some of the technology changes. Now we will come to the core application and understand. So what are the technology changes fusion to EBS, or we will do a comparison here. Okay, so when it comes to servers, so in EBS we had Oracle App Servers. Now in Fusion we have Oracle WebLogic Server. Okay, so that is how we have the difference in the server and the GUI user interface. It was forms and Java server pages, but here we have completely over Oracle ADF and ADF Java server pages. There are no forms at all. It is completely the ADF pages that we have to bear with. Okay, somehow it is a little difficult for the people or for us who have been using the forms, but it is quite interesting and also easy for us to get onto it, which does not need for you to install any Java updates or any Java related applications. It is completely a browser based GUI. A browser with the internet would give you the access to the applications. That's simple it is. And when it is workflow, it is PLSQL in our EBS. Now it is BIPL. BIPL is also one of the tool, okay, which is completely integrated seamlessly with our Fusion applications, where we will handle or write our own rules of workflow on this particular tool, which is an integrated tool with the Fusion applications. For reports, it is XML Publisher in ABS and a BI Publisher integrated with our Fusion applications. So by getting an access to any model of the application, you will have BI enabled and integrated, by which you can be able to write your own reports, okay, and kind of a drag and drop functionality you can use to build any new reports. Okay, so even it is the data, if you would like to pull from the database, okay, you can do that with the BI. And analysis, you have Discoverer, part of EBS, in analyzing the reports, and in data visualization and presentation, we have OTBI, online transaction business intelligence, with a beautiful graphical interfaces. You can be able to present the data with whatever is the best form that you can present. Even application only suggests you that to take up, which is that the best presentable mode for the data that you have pulled. Okay, so you can be able to leverage those functionalities, part of OTBI. Any questions here?
Whatever the database changes means here you means is it SQL, PLSQL, or any other thing in Fusion application? How it this one? Uh,
We will have that in the coming slide. Okay, so how we
mhm.
have database, so we'll go to that. Okay, I'll come to that particular question in this through the slides. So here, access of a application or menu functions or a screens, you will do it through responsibilities in EBS. But here in the Fusion applications, it is completely role-based access control. You need to understand and to define new roles which give access to the application. Okay, so anything what you access, anything what you see, anything what you don't see is all the role. Okay, the privileges which are included in the role, that is what the role based access control we are talking about. So we can do a lot of things, the role based access control. So there are some roles and we have a lot of types of roles. You can some of the roles associated automatically to the user based on the user creation. So we have a lot of stuff that can be done over role based access control that we will see and understand, okay, respectively in its sessions. And part of approvals, you have AME and workflows here in EBS, but we have BIPL and BPM coming into the picture in case of Fusion. So we have BPM is an application which takes care of the approvals, which you can write seamlessly, okay, in whichever condition that you want. The way we had AME, you will find if you have worked on AME, you will find similar. BPM is similar to AME, but you have even much more functionalities involved in it. So you can write any number of conditions with whatever is your business requirement is. There's no need for any customization here. So that is one of the beauty, I would say, to write. And we have a lot of workflows available to apply for any of the approval processes, and we can also write n number of conditions for each of the approval workflow. And next is data migrations. We used conversions. In case of EBS, we will use FPDIs, file-based data imports, the predefined Excel files with the macro enabled given by Oracle itself, which makes your life easy to move the data, okay, to Oracle applications by just keying into it. Okay, we will define and understand how does that work, part of our sessions. The setup and configurations, we had applications there in ABS. Now we will do it in functional setup manager. Okay, so when I say applications here in EBS, it is the responsibility and the menus and the functions that you use to access for setting up anything. But here, through a functional setup manager, which is a screen where you've got. So please be on mute if you are not speaking, whoever is that. Yeah, because there is a lot of background noise. Again, there is some background noise, please. Okay. So here you've got functional setup manager, including all your offerings, whatever are that you have choose to implement. So including all of them, you will have functional setup manager, taking into consideration for setting up any of that particular module. So any questions here?
Raj, I just want to know one thing, that what is means is there any difference means between this Fusion and Oracle Cloud? Because initially, first what I heard some year back, it was Fusion. Then suddenly this cloud terminology it started. Okay, Oracle Cloud, and even if as per my observation or from what I searched in Google and all those things, means I found okay that the terms what you called offering and there is options offering. So is there any difference in Fusion and cloud, or what is that? Just can you please because I'm always confused with that.
Okay, so let me take you to that Excel file back. Okay, so when I say yes, cloud, okay, and I'll say Fusion. So when it is cloud, it's something like a platform for you or for any of the application developer to host its applications on the cloud. It can be EBS, it can be Fusion. Fusion is a new application, completely dependent on the cloud. Okay, and the next is you can have some more other applications like your, for an example, you would like to integrate some XYZ application with the Fusion that you can host it on the cloud. But till now, what we have done, we had an on-premise and we've used only EBS, right? Even some of the applications, if they are needed, we have integrated. But here, when it is cloud, we can also access our EBS on the cloud because we've got some beta versions also starting from release 12.2. Okay, we've got even the EBS also being accessed from the cloud, and Fusion from the inception itself we are using it on the cloud, and from other applications also you can host it and you can use it on the cloud. Okay, so
So
in
you meant to
this,
say Fusion? It is totally cloud based, because earlier I mean 4 5 years back or 3 4 years back, it was means only I was hearing about Fusion, and then suddenly this cloud application, Oracle Cloud Procurement, Oracle Cloud, they don't use Oracle Fusion Procurement or Oracle Fusion SCM.
right,
Suddenly it's changed to Oracle Cloud Procurement, Oracle Cloud SCM, Oracle Cloud Finance.
right.
Okay, and even if some terms also I found the difference in what it is used in Fusion and cloud, this one. So that's why I thought it means is there any difference between this cloud application? Now when we say we'll be we trained on cloud application or we trained on Fusion? What we are going to picturize ourselves?
See why cloud is coming into the picture is, so let me give you a clear option. Cloud is, for any of the provider, it is a repetitive revenue. Okay, you will only pay a subscription. For an example, you're using an Airtel postpaid. What happens? You pay it on a monthly basis, right? So it is a repeated revenue. It is not just a one-time investment for the enterprise and then you forget about it. It is not like that. Cloud, why they are mostly emphasizing is it is a repeated revenue, and that is the best way of doing the business for providers like Oracle or Amazon or whoever is the cloud provider comes into the market. That is how they're saying it is in the on the cloud. Fusion cloud, you have procurement cloud, you have SCM cloud. So they're just linking that cloud as a word. That's all. There's no much different. But cloud is a platform you can have along with the Fusion or along with EBS, along with any other applications. You can have that platform to seamlessly integrate and use it when, okay, as it is needed. That is what the difference.
So from Oracle standpoint, it is same. You can say the Fusion and Oracle Fusion and Oracle Cloud, it is same. The features, all the
Absolutely.
features and functionality, it is same. Everything
Absolutely. Absolutely.
fine. Thank you.
Okay. So now I'll move forward. So here there are some of the changes EBS to Fusion when it is comes to applications. So financials, HRMS, and projects. So in Fusion also we are calling it as same, but projects it is now we are calling it as PPM, project portfolio management. And when it is database, okay, so we used to have Oracle database, but here it is Oracle and as well as S-base is another a new dimension of database. So where in case of financials and reporting stuff, you will have the data being stored in the S-base database. So it is again completely integrated with our Oracle database, and which is one of the new dimensions in our Fusion Cloud. And when it is system administrator is one of the responsibility here in EBS, which helps us to define the users responsibilities, menus, okay, and also the request groups. But here we do not have any system administrator. We had Oracle identity manager and as well as authorization policy manager, two of the middleware tools having integration with the Fusion applications, which used to help us in creating the roles and assigning the roles and also creating the privileges and associating those privileges. But now in release 12, in whatever is that release we are going to get trained, we do not have any more IDM and APM, which is respectively Oracle Identity Manager and Authorization Policy Manager. We have only a security console inheriting whatever that the you know capabilities that an IDM and APM used to perform. So we are now completely doing all that stuff in security console only, like user creation, like roles creation, and associating privileges to the roles, and anything related to that. We will do it on a consolidated security console, which will have access to, which will authorize to give access to any of the applications. Okay, so that is how we have coming into the picture. And then we have application architecture. So you can understand here how does a Fusion applications are built. On the top you have applications like your CRM or your financials, and then projects, and you have your procurement SCM, all that, which is being built on the Fusion middleware. Okay, so here the middleware is the platform and on which your applications are all on built, and this particular Fusion middleware is sitting upon the database. Okay, so the database layer is on the below, and on which you have middleware, and on middleware you have applications. Okay, so this is how we can be able to find, and one of the few things that we can understand with the step 2 here is Fusion middleware, and we have the middleware tools. For an example, what we have is Oracle Identity Manager, as we just discussed, and Authorization Policy Manager, and we have BPM, Business Process Management tool, which is again a middleware tool, which has got integration with our applications. So that's how we have, these are the middleware tools being on which you have your applications is being built. So this is an architecture, okay, an architecture point of view. And then these are your products, the suite by
Raj,
which you can,
Raj,
yeah. Mhm.
Raj,
Yeah.
what about this tables? I mean, it is the same as Oracle EBS, as you know, a few base tables and interface tables. So from the structure prospect, it is same, like it is there in Oracle, or some additional tables, or how it works in the background.
So there are some additional tables are also involved, and even the base tables, whatever that we used to have, there are some naming convention change. Okay, so you need to know that table name if you want to query the data from that particular table with
No,
using.
I don't need, means at this moment I don't need any detailed information. Yeah, just means in a summary based basis I was asking, means definitely there would be some changes in the table structure. So,
Yeah.
but these Oracle tables are present in this architecture or not, or how it is, or the naming convention it changed entirely.
That is what there are some tables are existing with the same names how we had in EBS, and there are few tables that has got some change to their name. Okay, and there are some new tables are also arrived. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
you will need to find that with the technical reference manual, and then you will have to go for a query if you need the data from them. Okay,
Okay.
that's it. So there are some of the applications which comes through a suite here that you can see it. So you have Oracle Fusion Supply Chain Management, and here you have your product information management, you have order management, you have costing and receipt accounting, inventory management, and global order promising. And one thing that you need to understand is we do not have any more procurement part of the SCM suite. It is completely a different suite altogether. So we are no more calling procurement as a part of Fusion SCM. Procurement is different. It actually belongs to a different family tree, and then your SCM is again different. So part of your purchasing procurement, you have purchasing and you have self-service procurement, you have sourcing, procurement contract, supplier portal, supplier qualification, and other KPIs and dashboards. Okay. Then some of the iteratives of Oracle SCM Cloud. So how you have, the SCM Cloud is broader, comprehensive suite of supply chain applications for your industrial and any other business, and the data experiencing by having the complete sync with all kinds of devices, okay, on the cloud and on premise, and faster implementation and configurable, extensible, and automated upgrades. So how can you have the data being implemented? Even we have the better ways or fastest ways to implement. Okay, so one of them is your rapid implementation configurator that you can do it by entering the data into a spreadsheet. Okay, so that way you can make the data being set up faster when you compare it with the traditional EBS. We'll move on to the next. So this is one of the key, new feature of our Fusion procurement. So we can have all these type of models, okay, models of business unit models, which can be controlled the procurement activities. Now, when I look at the first a picture here, which is a decentralized model where your BU1, BU2, BU3 is nothing but your business units. In other words, they are operating units of e-business suite. So your BU1 is requesting, that means creating the requisition and sourcing the item and then buying from the respective supplier and paying. So each of these activities will be performed by respective BU. So that is what you're decentralized, where you have no connection between one BU to another performing any of these activities. But when it comes to centralized sourcing, so you have your BU1 requesting and this centralized service model or one of the BU. Let's take an example of BU2 here, having the source service center and making the sourcing, and then you will buy it from the respective BU and pay it. So the same way your BU2 is requesting, and whereas the sourcing is done by one of the shared service center, and then you will have again buying being done by your respective BU and paying by the respective BU. This is centralized sourcing. But whereas now a complete shared service model. Okay, here your BU1 is requesting and sourcing by a shared service center, and then you will be having the buying from them and also paying respectively, either by your BUs which has requested or by your shared service center. And the last model is transfer procurement to local BU. So here your BU1 is requesting and which is being sourced by your shared service center, and then buying by BU2 and then paying either by your BU2 or by BU1. So where we are not at all performing, okay, we are performing each step in each respective BU. Why you need to do that? All these things is for your security. Okay, you would like to only authorize one of your BUs to act as a BU which has to procure, because you don't want to give the procuring authorization or procuring access to all the people who are existing in all the BUs. Only one BU you would like to make as a procurement BU. Other than that, any requirement comes through a requisition is known by the respective BU. So let it raise from respective BUs, but my only one of the procurement head BU would act as a procurement BU. So these type of models, business unit models, are inbuilt in our Fusion applications, which were not there part of EBS. So these are, you can set up all these things. That is kind of a inbuilt features. Okay, any questions here?
We are good, Raj. I think we are good.
I'll go to the next slide. So here Fusion Supply Chain Management comes with the product master data management. Here product management, we are no more handling the inventory activities. So there is no inventory module. Okay, when I speak about it in the Fusion Cloud, so we are handling the item definition and all that in the product information management, and we are handling the receiving and shipping part of warehouse management. Okay, so those two are completely different part of our Fusion supply chain management. So product master data management is an extensive way of defining your items and handling it. Okay, so there's a lot of new stuff in that. And then global order promising comes to you, part of your order management. Okay, so which used to be part of the planning in EBS case, but you also need to know what is global order promising when you are knowing the Fusion order management, where you can source the items from respective warehouses other than the warehouse where it is entered, which is entered in the sales order. Okay, so that advanced functionality is also available. And orchestration is nothing but the plan of fulfilling your sales order. So how do you want to fulfill it? Okay, what are the steps involved? So that you can define, and you can take the help of or invoke the existing seeded orchestrations, or you can define your own custom orchestration. This is an advanced way of fulfilling your sales orders from the warehouse. And then supporting financial and procurement processes, so your inventory and cost management, so is all that inbuilt. Okay, with wherever it is possible, we have a lot of new features coming in, and then giving you the best flexibility to use the Fusion supply chain management. So here, what to expect from your Fusion SCM or Fusion Cloud, in other words. Okay, so here we can have your applications being on-premise. Okay, so you can see it in this particular picture. So where you used on-premise is being handling the applications, and cloud is another model. So you want to have the entire applications on the cloud. Okay, but you also can have a hybrid environment where your on-premise and cloud coexists. Okay, you can have seamlessly your on-premise and cloud integrated and working in sync with both the datas in place. Okay, so even your cloud is capable of doing these things. Okay, you can adjust your on-premise and also your cloud at one point and working in sync. Okay, and this is your course content. So maybe I hope the course content is shared with you. So I'll also take you through once. Let me open this. Okay. So here are the applications modules covered, part of the Fusion SCM training. So we'll talk of Fusion inventory and product management and purchasing, Fusion cost management, order management, and order orchestration. So we will discuss creating a payable invoice and its relevant setups, part of Fusion payables and also receivables in case of order management related invoices creation, and then Fusion functional setup manager, Fusion Identity Manager and Authorization Policy Manager, they are no more available in Release 12 as we discussed about Release 12. But whatever the features that we used to do or the functionalities that we used to perform, we'll do it part of the security console. So that we will discuss. So which is more important and critical to have the role-based access control. And then you have business process management is the tool where your all approvals being defined. So we'll discuss all that. And part of cycles, we have P2P cycle, O2C cycle, and this is what the summary content. 1 second, guys, 1 minute. Yeah. So here, part of the inventory or the material management, we will discuss all these things. So you can go through it. So material management is logistics. That is what we are calling it as our warehouse operations, nothing but the shipping and the receiving activities. So that we will discuss part of this. And then part of supplier configurations, which is part of the common setups for procurement, and approval management, okay, which we do it, part of BPM, and task configurations for procurement, which is like transaction account builder. So we have tab coming into the picture which will default our charge, budget, accrual, and variances accounts in case of our requisitions and purchase orders. So that is a mandatory setup. How do we do that? Which is a change from our EBS to procurement.
Hey,
So the
Raj,
fusion, yeah.
here one question I have. In R12 we have SLA. How is it gonna replace? What is the terminology in the cloud?
So SLA is, we are calling it as transaction account builder, okay, for our part of our procurement. So we will define our own accounts.
No,
Okay.
I mean to say,
Mhm.
cost management has its own SLA,
Right.
right?
Right.
Now SLA for that covers both purchasing, order management, and other work, WIP and other modules all together within supply chain, right?
Yes.
Similarly, there needs to be a concept which can replace SLA. The one that you're talking about, account builder, it is something like PO account builder. We also have.
Right.
Similarly, we have order management account workflow, COGS account workflow.
Right.
But those are just phased out completely because they are getting replaced. In Artwell also, we use SLAs more frequently. So similarly, is there any function like that?
We have the similar function how we used in ABS. So same subledger accounting here also we have, but we will write the different rules within that particular application. When I say it is application, if it is procurement or if it is cost management or if it is receipt accounting, we'll write our own rules to reflect for that particular
Okay.
SLA and use it Okay, so that is
Perfect.
similar. There's no much difference of that.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I'll move on. This is what the receipt accounting configuration, and then configurations for business functions. So business functions is again a new thing. So how do you enable business functions for a business unit which are only used in that particular business unit? So you will not enable the other business functions which are not used. For an example, if a business unit is only a requisitioning business unit and not procurement one, so you will not enable a procurement business unit, and you will always have the other business unit working for procuring the items which are requested in the requisitions for that particular BU. So that's how we will enable the business functions whichever is needed, part of the BU functions. And then your configuration of Oracle Fusion purchasing. So there are some other additional options like this: requisition configuration, procurement transactional processing. So how do you create your purchase orders, requisitions, and how it is different from the way that you've
Means,
been doing.
uh, Raj, almost means a lot of things. What I found here means it is similar to means these features that is similar to EBS. So only the look and feel there is a change. Means from the UI prospect, there we are using form, and here you will be using means this one web-based application on this one. But process wise, is there any change or process remains same?
There are a lot of changes in the process wise as well. So the forms are also a lot of changed. Okay, even when you compare it with the look and feel, there are some additional features which are involved in the same forms that we've been seeing in the EBS. Okay, even the process also. Okay, we are not doing the same way how we are doing it here. Okay, the cycle remains the same of creating requisitions, purchase orders, and again payable and receiving and payable invoices, but there are a lot of changes in the way we are doing it. Okay, so that is the change.
Okay.
So this is procurement transactional processing, and then accounts payables transaction processing, which involves creation of PO invoice, and then making the invoice payment and then posting it to the ledger, and are part of order management. We'll do all these particular activities.
So which version we are going to learn this?
It is release 12, the latest version.
Release 2.
Yeah, release 12.
So Raj,
Mhm.
Raj 13 is the latest version, right?
No, 30s is not released yet.
Not released yet? Okay.
Not released yet. It will come into the picture in the mid of 2018. And then transactional processing, part of order management. So we will look at all these things, and then cost management. So we have a lot of changes in the cost management, so that we will discuss. And then Fusion receivables, receivable invoice creation and customer creation and all that. Transactional processing and Fusion functional setup manager. So what is a functional setup manager, and how do you administer a functional setup manager, and how do you assign the activities to your subordinates who are part of your implementation project and all that. We will look at Fusion functional setup manager, and then role-based access control. So we do not have any more identity manager and APM, so this I need to update. But we will learn all these activities part of security console, and then business process management, where you have approval groups creation and absolute rule definition. And then other than this, we will also learn the enterprise definition configuration through rapid implementation spreadsheet, where you will define your ledger, legal entity, BU, and chart of accounts through a spreadsheet. Okay, and then configuration package to move the data from one instance to another. Let's say, for example, you're from your test to production. How do you do that? So that we will show you. And then integration, maybe we will discuss, on the overview basically. So we'll not get into the depth of it. And P2P and O2C cycles with along with OTBI, which is again a beauty of your Fusion applications. How do you define reports, and how do you just associate it with your schedule processes? All that we will discuss, and BPM approvals, data conversions through FPDIs, how do you load the data to Fusion applications, custom role creation, and so complete course and all these things you can go through. Okay, and then if you have any questions, you can come back to us. So this is what is part of the course curriculum. So any questions you
So,
have
Raj,
further? Yeah.
will you be publishing the everyday's recordings?
Yeah, we will be publishing the everyday's recording, and you will have access
Okay.
to it. Yeah.
And will there be any plan to also share some training material, student guide or something like that?
Student guides, we do not have any more student guides the way we have for EBS.
Okay.
Oracle itself is not publishing it. Okay. So
Not a
you
problem.
you yourself you have to make some good
Notes.
way of learning it. Okay. One is
Mhm.
that we will give it. Instance access will be provided to you. Okay, so I'm not sure
Okay.
whether it is for 3 months or 6 months that you need to check the respective people, but instance access
Yeah.
is given to you from the day one. So you will have to go through that instance based on the training conducted on that day. So that makes you very clear and get a lot of new doubts according to that process that we have discussed.
Raj, so this session recording are you going to get, or
Yeah, we will give you this demo session recording.
okay, and along with the course content, everything?
Yeah, I hope course content has already been shared to you. If not, we will also share that.
No. Actually, we didn't get. So need this one demo session recording and course content.
Definitely, we will give it to you, no problem.
And Raj, one more
Raj,
thing.
Hmm. Go ahead.
Raj, my name is Ram, and I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Um, are we going to touch on the Oracle PDH part, product data hub, or Oracle inventory? There is a alternate for inventory, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
actually kind of a MDM. So
Mm-hmm.
that's
Right.
called product data hub. Are
Okay.
we going to touch upon that in any chance?
No. We will discuss the product information management, which is a part of that, but we will not get into the master data management and product data hub. We will not do that.
But that is also kind of an inventory management tool, right? If you're going to touch on inventory, not everybody, every organization is going to use inventory, right? Some people rely on product data hub also.
Yeah, we are not using that inventory. That is how we have product information management coming into the picture for definition and managing the items. So we have a lot more new things available. But product data hub and master data management is completely different again. That's altogether is a very vast subject. Okay, so that is not part of it until what is required
We
part
can
of
we
item
can
management.
still integrate that with our subledger modules, right? I mean,
Mhm.
at least we can have an understanding on the integration part. Do you
That
think
will
there will be a
integration. So whatever is needed, we will give you an overview integrating an application with our Fusion Cloud. But especially up to your question, so we will not discuss the details of that PDH or MDM. Okay.
okay? Thank you.
Okay, Raj, one more thing. How about this? The project methodology and the documentation and the phases. What we in EBS. Okay, we have different AIM and OUM methodology,
Mhm.
and the documentation. There is a standard documentation,
Mhm.
and about the phases, like different phases we have. So what means how it is in a cloud environment? Means in a cloud implementation project, how it works.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, right. So here, the implementation time has been completely reduced. So we are no more taking that much time to implement a cloud offering or a cloud application. So here, so there are some changes, part of the methodology that we have. Okay, but
mhm.
not complete changes. We don't have that many stages or phases that we have part of the AIM methodology or OUM methodology when you implement an EBS application to Fusion Cloud. They have been reduced. Okay.
No, is there any such methodology? It is for cloud. It is available. Means you follow a certain methodology like OUM or AIM. We follow in EBS. Yeah, is there any methodology in this one in cloud application, cloud environment?
So
And what about the documentation? Means when you the all functional document, technical document, is that the naming convention it changed? Definitely because it's a new environment. So how it happens in the cloud application?
So when it is the methodology, so here OEM is mostly used, but as such, we are not relying on any such particular methodology except for very big clients. But we have even phases are also changed and time has been reduced. I will say it as OEM methodology will be used, and that has been compressed here when it is comes to Fusion Cloud application. But when it comes to documentation, we've got similar documents, so there's no much change except here and there based on again the client, kind of interest. There are some changes in the naming convention, but other than that, there's no much change as long as I've seen.
From Oracle side, there is no changes you mean to say because these all are related to Oracle side. So
Right, right,
this documentation and everything, so it remains same. This ND50 BR100, it all same.
right, right.
Also in this.
They are all same.
Mhm.
Obviously, it will be like AIM methodology only.
Yeah.
And generally, how much time it takes for a project for a means based on the size? I know, but just yes, if it is a short term this one and a small scale business unit
Mhm.
or so how much time it will take?
So minimum three
Means,
months to maximum 1 year I've seen. Okay, for an implementation, even I've seen the implementation is being completed in 3 months, which is again, okay, 16 weeks of time. That is again
and
based
the
on the
team size.
client, and team size is again very less. Okay, so it starts like again that is based on the modules that you involve. But I've seen the complete, SCM is being handled by one of the person, and then the procure, I mean financials and PPM is again a different guy. So maximum 3 to 5, 3 to 5 is the team size.
So you mean to say one SCM guy and one procurement guy means it is enough for the entire project.
Absolutely. Procurement is also sometimes being handled by SCM guy itself, because there's no procurement that is new to an SCM guy, so it is not belongs to the same suite of application that we've seen, but it is quite same, right? Okay.
Then why don't if there is chances to inform all the topics procurement as well as SCM in both in this session itself?
That is what I've given you the course content. Okay, I'll share you it again. Okay, so just go through it. Okay, I've just gone through our walkthrough of all that topics. I'll again share it to you, so please go through it. Okay.
Yeah, like no, what I'm asking, if we content these two both in a single session, it would be great help to others even. I hope
No, no.
because same activity will be like I think it will be as purchasing as entire activity for SCM
Uh-huh.
and procurement is the same
I'm sorry, I did not get your question.
in EBS. Like
Mhm.
we have procurement as well as SCM. Like no, both are
Right,
same in single
right,
activity. Like SCM
right,
consultant. In other
right,
words,
right.
vision if you check this both in a single instance with batch, it would be great help to others even. I hope.
Yeah, yeah, we will do that in the single instance only, and this goes hand in hand itself. The product information management and procurement, again, product information management and order management. Okay, because we have an integration between both these applications, right? So that's how we will do it in all in one instance only, and that goes one means hand in hand itself. So side by side they go, so that there's no need of confusion, or there's no something that is new for us
Yes,
to
Raj.
not understand on that.
Sorry to interrupt you. I can see from the course curriculum that even inventory is also there, inventory cloud, right? Some topics of inventory cloud like, are touched upon.
Yeah, yeah.
So we
Inventory
are going to
means,
deal with that.
yeah, yeah, inventory means, that is what I'm saying. Inventory, it's part of product information management and material management and logistics. That is what your inventory here.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah.
So, guys, if we have no questions further, so we can wind up for the day and we can see you in the next classes from tomorrow on.